Hi everyone! The end of the year is an important time for all of us as we think about things like finals, projects, and for some of us, making the important transition to college in the fall. While all of these things are incredibly important, the uni faculty and staff will also look a little different as of next year. At the end of this year, Mr. Bergandine and Mr. Butler will be retiring, and earlier we sadly received the news that Mr. Garvey passed away after a battle with cancer. This video is a way to commemorate the services of these three teachers and acknowledge the ways in which they made the uni community a better place. We hope this is a chance for you to reflect on your experiences with these teachers and think about the ways in which they positively impacted your uni experience. On behalf of the uni community, thank you, Mr. Butler, Mr. Bergandine, and Mr. Garvey, for everything that you have done for us, and we will miss you all dearly next year.
I have taught chemistry here for 37 years, but if I were not teaching chemistry, I'd probably want to teach shop class. Building stuff, using tools. There's very little that's more empowering than using a power tool. Yeah, so after 37 years, lots of memorable experiences, lots of students. I probably taught on the order of 1,500 students, so lots of people I've met. You'd be surprised how many people have passed through the school in all those years. But I'd say probably, have to be memorable that I worked with one colleague, Dave Stone, for most of those years, and the fact that we both came in together at the same time and really shared lots of those experiences. Many were humorous and entertaining, others more serious and dramatic. We've had roughly 20 to 30 players come out every year. We built that into a successful program, won the sectional here twice, and expect to win it again this year. Winning is not really what it's all about, considering that most of our players will not go on to become professionals. And I consistently hear this from other coaches and other team parents, is we have one of the finest programs they've ever come across. Our players are all gentlemen. They really enjoy playing with us and against us, and they like us so well they don't even mind when they lose to us. You might find it surprising that you guys come and go in periods of roughly 5 years, but the school has lasted for 100. I've been here for over a third of that time, and every day is a different day. And I hope you guys actually feel that way too when you do get to come to school, that it's not only a different day, but you can make it a different day by what you choose to do, who you choose to be with, what challenges you believe that you would like to take on, whether that's in a classroom or an extracurricular activity, or maybe just a challenging relationship that you're attempting to build among your classmates. Well, people like to ask what retirement plans are for people that are retiring, and so I decided to just go ahead and wear my retirement plan with me. My kids had this made for me, so I don't have to answer that question everywhere I go. Yeah, so my retirement plan will include being on my bicycle when I get the chance, and that will be more often than when I was here at school, especially during tennis season. I like bird watching in the spring. For many years I've been riding, birding, and I actually do some birding while riding, so I've decided that I'll start a new hobby called burr riding, where I'm birding while riding. It's a little difficult because you've got to be able to recognize things without binoculars, traveling at high rates of speed, avoiding potholes and farm dogs.
I enjoyed the tournaments, they were really stimulating for me because I could, try to answer the questions in my head. I kind of got bushwhacked into that. A student said, "Hey, will you sponsor a Scholastic Bowl club?" And then the next year it became a team, and I found myself driving all over to these different tournaments and stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was something different I could do for the school, outside. I mean, there's a lot of things, but it's really being in the classroom. I always sort of approach it as performance art. I lose myself in the story. I'll start off kind of slow. That's one reason why I always start off with fun facts, just to get me warmed up. And then, and I'd start off kind of slow, but then, several minutes in, I just get into the flow of it. And so, like I've enjoyed the kids. When I came here, the main thing I was excited about was teaching history. But, what I learned was to enjoy the kids, and appreciate as human beings, as opposed to a bunch of stupid kids. I think you're at an age where you can intellectually absorb stuff, but also enjoy things on kind of a childlike level with imagination in that. Uni students, by and large, I've always found to be very nice. I've taken kids on any number of field trips overseas and whatever, and I've never had problems. There's that kind of loose, informal, that mutual respect atmosphere and sense of humor. I have to retell this every few years. So it was people from the class of '89. Things were a lot looser then, so I got them keys to the building and even the computer lab. And so one day they went and they bought a football, and then they wanted to make it look weathered, so they drove over it several times with a car, and then made a little wooden trophy with, says this, Uni 37, Urbana 3, and then they Xeroxed a picture of like some football team from Central in the 1930s, from their yearbook, and put it up there. I've always been adamant about keeping that trophy. I think it's in the kitchen now, but that was just one of the best practical jokes, especially because nobody noticed it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I was the only one who even knew what it was. And when it came to light, people were just sort of astonished, But I just always thought that was one of the best practical jokes. And you didn't ask me any embarrassing questions.
On April 19, 2021, longtime uni teacher, coach, colleague, and friend John B. Garvey passed away after battle with cancer. Mr. Garvey was in his 25th year of teaching French and computer literacy at uni. But Mr. Garvey was more than just a teacher. He frequently shared his passion for cooking, languages, literature, culture, and so many more mentally challenging activities. For years, Mr. Garvey took students on trips to France to further their educational experience and satisfy his love of the country. We thank Mr. Garvey for his service and friendship, but more importantly, his passion for students, the school, and the concept of delving deeply into education to better oneself. We will miss you, Mr. Garvey, but your impact will continue to be felt for decades.